for Reforms and Democracy in CORD are expected to demonstrate all the way to the anniversary towers where the IEBC sits, and they say they want to present their case, saying they feel the IEBC is not a partisan party when it comes to election matters. Now, the question this morning we want to get answers to is: are the CORD demonstrations justified? Are they breaking the law, or are they, going about their usual business? Well, this morning in studio, we are joined by Honorable Stephen Sang. He's a senator for Nandi County. Honorable Junet Mohammed, Member of Parliament for Suna East, will also be joining this panel in a bit. And of course, Mutegi Njau is the man moderating the session. 22422 is the SMS line should you want to get in touch with us this morning, or you can get us on Twitter. The hashtag is Power Breakfast. But for now, I quickly hand you over to Mutegi. Mutegi?
Thank you, Karibu. We would have wanted to start with Honorable Junet Mohammed because they're the ones organizing the demonstrations. But since it's a little bit late, we'll go ahead and talk about the matter with one Senator Sang. Actually, these demonstrations are not only in Nairobi; they are all over the country from today, according to them. So it's not only going to be anniversary towers; it will be in other counties. Why are you opposed to this peaceful? According to Senator the Senator for Siaya, Orengo, they said there will be peaceful demonstrations, and they provided for in the Constitution. Why?
Mutegi, I think what is important to note is what is the intention of the demonstration. The CORD leadership have said it clearly, that the intentions of the demonstrations is to eject commissioners from office, IEBC commissioners, to eject. So the question is, whereas the process may look peaceful, but what is the end result that you are trying to achieve?
Remove them because they are not neutral.
But then,
they refused. They refused the CORD signatures. And according to Raila, they are calling them these people.
Yeah.
They don't recognize CORD as a political party. The IEBC is accused of calling CORD these people. So they are not. They don't.
Yeah. So you see, Mutegi, I am not here to defend IEBC. As Jubilee, we are not defending IEBC, but we are just saying that we as a country have come a long way in building institutions. This country has had challenges in the past. The post-election violence of 2007, 2008 was one of those darkest moments in our history. And based on that, we started developing institutions. And we said clearly that the Electoral Commission then, did let Kenya down. And that is why we agreed that we needed to find a process of reconstituting an independent electoral body. We agreed as a country to anchor within the constitution the existence of independent institutions, so that we agreed that certain institutions must just remain independent. Electoral body, the judiciary, the other arms of government, parliament, must remain neutral. We have made progress in that direction. But now what CORD is trying to do is to take us back to where we've come from. Especially this coming barely, 10 years, after the post-election violence. You will remember, Mutegi, that apparently in the post-election violence, Kenya lost a lot. Many people suffered. We still are victims up to now. But in that chaos, we have one party or one individual who was a beneficiary of the post-election violence. And that was the Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, who ended up being the Prime Minister of this republic. You continue to see him sticking and defending that position. He doesn't even want to be referred to as a former Prime Minister, because he was a beneficiary of this chaos. If you look at the direction that Raila Amolo Odinga is going, and the CORD coalition, they seem to be going in that same direction of hoping that when we get into the elections and they lose the elections, then you are able to start a process of discussions, negotiations, and we try to find some sort of extra constitutional means of accommodating them in government. And I think that is really unfortunate. If the challenges that we faced in 2007, 2008 started with these kind of things, where you are saying, oh, the elections will be rigged, You start saying, oh, you know, the electoral body, you know, we will not accept the results if we are not declared the winners. Then you are told to go to court. You say, no, we have no confidence in the judiciary. At the end of the day, if you have no confidence in the judiciary, if you have no confidence in the electoral body, you have no confidence in virtually every institution, then how do we run this country? So for me, and for us in Jubilee, we appreciate that the Constitution has provided mechanisms for addressing the challenges that court are raising. They could be valid, issues, but let us address them within the parameters of an existing, legal framework. Outside that, what would prevent anybody else to start raising issues about National Land Commission, raise issues about Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and virtually every institution? It's really unfortunate.
But the fear of court is not the process of removing IEBC through Parliament. And they are fearing that since there is what is called the tyranny of numbers, they may not get anywhere through the parliamentary process. So they decided that the best way is to take a walk, demonstrate. And if it's peaceful, what's wrong with that?
No, it's okay.
They must harass them out of office without being violent at all. They might feel embarrassed because of pressure and resign, although they have already said they won't resign. Yeah. Maybe after a few months they might make a different decision.
But ask yourself, then where are we taking this country? If we start a process of removing legitimate office holders from office through means that are extrajudicial, extra constitutional, tomorrow we will have that particular discussion. You install new commissioners. What happens if then another section of the society starts saying, we have no confidence in them? And mark you, these same commissioners sitting in the current IEBC were appointed through a negotiated process on the basis of 50-50. Apparently, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were not even part of that negotiations. Raila Odinga and his team were part of those negotiations, which tells you that it doesn't matter. You may want to control the process of getting individuals into office, but it's possible that you bring them today, in another 3 months they reject you as the same signatures that you brought, and you start telling us again, let's go back to the same process and do away with the same commissioners. So really, we must develop some sort of respect for processes and institutions. That is the only way we can move forward as a country.
Welcome, Mr. Junet Mohammed, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
We have a little bit late, but we can follow the discussion.
Yes.
The question is, what's the justification for these demonstrations? Why can't you go through the normal process of law and the constitution?
Mutegi, there is nothing abnormal about what we are doing. It's very normal. We are just, invoking certain parts of the constitution that allows demonstrations and picketing. And we are trying to tell IEBC and show IEBC our displeasure on the way they handle the elections and the way they are not prepared to handle the coming election. And there is nothing abnormal about it. The only people who think that things must go their way are the people who are seeing problems with what we are doing. And I don't think IEBC should by any means be defended by Jubilee, because IEBC does not work for Jubilee. Neither do they work for court.
I said already before you came here, he was not defending.
Very good.
He was not defending.
No, the only thing I had him speaking about is the way IEBC was formed, that they were formed through negotiations and what was. I think the senator might have been living out of the country by then. IEBC was formed based on the new constitution. There were no negotiations. There was a panel that was formed to vet that IEBC, and the vetting panel came up with these 9 commissioners, and they were appointed by the president. And the same president...
Was court involved on Jubilee or ODM? Were they involved in that vetting?
No, there was no court, there was no Jubilee in that vetting. It was a panel of people, and the panel was set up in the Election Act on how that panel was supposed to be set up.
Yes.
And they were neither representing Jubilee nor court. And if it is about being in government by then, even the president currently and the deputy president were part of that government. One was a minister for finance, another was minister for agriculture. So they were also part of that government that formed this IEBC. Even if this IEBC was formed at that time when some of our people in government, they did not form the IEBC to mismanage the elections. They were formed to do proper, credible, transparent election, which they failed in their own admission. That every time they appear on any TV, they say, we know there were problems in that election and we are ready to sort them out. And up to today, 1 year to the general election, they have not given any clear map on how they want to conduct the next election. So
I thought they have the strategy. They appoint a new CEO.
Those are all theoretical. Because even the other time, they imported equipment worth 10 billion shillings in last election, and they never worked.
That was not their problem. It was a problem of government because they didn't have the money.
No, they were given the money. The equipment came in the end.
They were doing the last things the last minute. They were not even trained to use them.
You see, the responsibility of conducting elections is not for government. It's the IEBC, an independent commission. So you cannot backpass and say that, oh, the government. Even the other time we were shocked. IEBC is supposed to register people en masse and do civic education on people to come and register. IEBC comes out and tells you that the government didn't give us money, so we cannot register people.
Does the IEBC have money?
It's an obligation.
No, you are not doing reasonable. If you are given a task and you are not financed, how do you do it?
So what is and then same government now again defending them? The same government was refused to give them money. It's the same government now.
So don't blame IEBC, blame the government.
Then the government should join us in the demonstrations, because it's the same government now that is defending the same IEBC that they are saying, IEBC saying they have not given them money.
So tell me why you cannot go to court. Tell me why you cannot go to
it looks like a conspiracy between the government and IEBC.
Tell me why you chose the demonstrations and you won't go to the High Court or to the Supreme Court to do or to remove them.
Why should we go to court?
Or to Parliament?
No. Sovereign power belongs to the people. The sovereignty of this country is... Now, you know how this Parliament operates. A petition was brought some 6 months ago to the National Assembly by one man called Wafula Buke, and he raised issues on the IEBC commissioners. That petition didn't see the light of the day. It was thrown out. The numbers showed that they don't need it anymore. It is for a fact that these commissioners cannot be removed through the National Assembly. It's for a fact. This National Assembly is about voting, it's about numbers, it's not about reasoning.
That's the meaning of democracy.
Yeah, but
the meaning of democracy means
protest and demonstrations also are part of democracy. Some of the constitutions and the benefits we are enjoying today were also brought through this picketing we are doing today. Through these demonstrations we are doing today. So demonstrations are part of democracy then. If the numbers in Parliament are part of democracy, demonstrations and picketing also are part of democracy.
So if we don't want the president, you want us to go to the street and remove him? Or
we have not yet decided on that. Now we are on IEBC. So if you are...
No, it's the same. You can apply the same.
Yeah, when time comes, when we decide. But now we are on IEBC. Yes, we are on IEBC.
You know, Mutegi, listening to Junet and the CORD coalition, particularly singling out the constitutional provision with regard to the sovereignty of the people. The same constitution and the same article talks about exercising that sovereignty through means or within means provided for within the same constitution. So really, picketing and demonstration using that to show displeasure of IEBC is okay. But attempting to eject commissioners and remove them from office through that single provision, and you are not even, and you see, there is also a clear misguided notion that a few of the demonstrators and supporters of CORD represent the entire people. You know, as a country, we have you know, the many of us in this country. Some do not agree with you. So you can't claim that you know, in exercising you know, the sovereignty of the people, just a few supporters of your party or a section of this country will be used as a representation of the entire country.
You see,
so if we were to go in that direction, and those others who do not support
who are Kenyans.
Yeah,
we are Kenyans. We are also Kenyans.
Are you
CORD is representing over 5 million voters of Kenyans and over 20 million Kenyans, if we look at the population. You know, I was just hearing the senator saying that, oh, we are trying to take back the country to the 2007 post-election. I thought when two communities who formed the government agreed, I thought those issues of post-election now are behind us. Now that ICC is over, the two communities are together, they have formed one government. I thought all Kenyans are happy. Why is he complaining now that we are going back to 2007, 2008? We are not going back there, and we're not interested in going back there. We only want Kenyans to have free, fair, credible, transparent election. And that can only be achieved by having somebody who's ready to conduct that kind of election. This country has suffered enough through bad governance, through bad elections. The only credible elections this country had, that we can for sure say this country had good elections, was in 2002 when President Kibaki was elected. The rest were sham elections. You see, look at the last elections. You go to a polling station in the morning, you wake up, you are told you will be identified electronically. The gadgets are not working. You come there, you are told your name is not in the register. We go to Supreme Court. Just a minute. Just a minute, my friend.
Yeah.
You go to Supreme Court, you are told we have 3 registers. Which green book, yellow book, black book. Which one do we use? My friend, we will not allow Jubilee to come back through that way. We want them to defeat us fair and square. If they have the numbers of those 2 regions, let us see. But if they defeat us in transparent way, we will agree and become now the opposition again for 5 years. Why are they defending Jubilee like it is their part of their team?
IEBC.
IEBC. Why is Jubilee? Now you see, look. IEBC had 9 commissioners at the beginning. When we took our documents to Okoa, Kenya, before even we received results, two other commissioners are speaking, Honorable Sakaja and Honorable Duale. Now IEBC has 11 commissioners. So we want we also want to add 3 more commissioners from court so that we become 16. Because already those 2 are speaking on behalf of IEBC. They are the ones who told us your signatures are fake. We are wondering, Kumbe, there are new commissioners in town.
We are doing politicking now.
No, it's true. He's very soon going to become a commissioner, even a senator, representing North Rift area.
That's politicking.
Junet is being petty.
Why?
If you live in this country, those signatures were being collected all over. The people who are even employed by CORD and by everybody to carry around, to run around with those, signature books, were living in this country. So they would tell you that, one person or 3 people were signing a whole booklet.
Who told you? Who told you that?
The same guys you employed.
Those are rumors.
What do you mean rumors?
These are national television.
And then they were confirmed by IEBC.
Listen,
in any case,
we collected those signatures from Kenyans all over the country. You didn't expect us to collect from America or Europe?
No,
we collected from all Kenyans, and those signatures were genuine, my friend.
But the
IEBC, let me
come in. The IEBC did not reject the signatures because of the way they were signed.
Correct.
They were rejected because of the synchronization of the name and the ID. That's what the problem was.
No, that was not the case.
Yeah.
IEBC up to now have not given a clear answer on how those signatures were rejected. Yeah?
That's the way I understood it.
It's
not whether you signed a cow or a goat.
The problem with God is that they listen to what they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That is your problem. You listen to what IEBC was saying.
You see, let me tell you something. Up to today, we were looking for audience with IEBC on how they arrived in dismissing our signatures. Up to today, IEBC has not allowed us to meet them.
No, but you are going to reject them.
And that is what produced these demonstrations you are seeing. And you see, it is a high time, Jubilee, when my party leader came back from America, and we had Sabasaba rally there, we told Jubilee, let us have dialogue. We have some issues that we want to discuss with you people. They came out and said, oh, these people, they are looking for Nusmukati. Said, we are not looking for even half loaf, a quarter loaf. Leave alone half.
In fact, that was he suggesting.
We were not looking for half.
That is what the senator is suggesting.
No.
Even now, in the next year, you won't have Mukati.
No, we don't want. We don't want to have Mukati. Next year, we are going to win in big margin. Maybe I will accommodate the senator as chairman of certain board somewhere. I cannot have loaf. The senator is a good man. It's a young man like me, is my age. Can make him chairman water services something. Now, you see, when we said now we want to discuss these matters, let's have dialogue. They said, come for tea at State House. Honestly speaking, one of the issues we wanted to engage with Jubilee at that time on dialogue was IEBC. The other thing was security. The other thing was about the economy. They shut the doors. They said no. And all over the world, the opposition and the government meet and discuss issues of national importance.
But
there are some
why can't we talk?
The senator's party was a bit, insecure. They thought that if we come there, we might displace them.
The churches, the churches, the diplomats, envoys are calling for a dialogue. Why can't we have a dialogue over this matter of IEBC?
Mutegi, we have established a constitution, and we have established means and ways of addressing challenges, national challenges. It is important for us to be, to follow processes if we have to ensure that we have a stability and so that we are able to agree on how to move forward as a country. Whereas I agree with the concerns raised by the church, I agree with the concerns raised by those diplomats, but all this must be channeled through an agreed, an established, framework, so that then we can be able to have actionable plans from this. Discussing outside there, outside the framework of parliament, outside the framework of, the president actually invited them. When you say that for a cup of tea, every other time if I have to meet Junet, I will obviously have, meet him over a cup of tea or over, a glass of beer or something like that. So that was already a window opened by the president. But if you have to, if you want us to engage on dialogue, but under your terms, you are setting your own terms. When the president says, of course, the official residence of the president and the official, working office of the president is State House and Arambe House. You are invited there. You say, no, that is not what we want. We still want, you are giving us conditions as to how to engage. I think, if we have to engage, let's engage in good spirit.
Do you see any possibility of a dialogue now, between now and when we do elections?
The only problem that we have is that look at the direction that CORD has gone.
Yeah.
They are raising issues with the IEBC commissioners. But today, demonstrations will be happening across the country. I understand you saw even Kisumu the last time. You are dealing with even junior officers within a satellite office in Kisumu where there are no commissioners there. But you saw some level, some kind of, activity there. People chaining themselves. They get.
That's the reason why do you have demonstrations all over the country?
Yeah, we have demonstration.
What is the justification for?
Yeah, because we represent the whole country, and we have representation in the whole country, unlike Jubilee, which is represented in 2 regions. So our displeasure is across the country. Now, for records, I don't take beer, but I could take tea with him. So now, you see, we requested for dialogue long way ago.
Answer the question.
Last year.
Why are you? What's the justification if you want to remove the commissioners in Nairobi?
Yeah.
Why do you need to go and remove the officers?
Yeah, but IEBC has representation all over the country.
So you want the commissioners?
They have offices in my constituency.
So you want the
and in my county.
So you want the officers there because you harass me.
No, IEBC. You see, the government of Kenya is not only in Nairobi. They are in all over the country.
So you want a
If you are demonstrating against government, you demonstrate all over the country. If you are demonstrating about IEBC, you demonstrate all over the country.
So who do you want to eject in
you see, let me tell you something.
Whom do you want to eject in
the citizen in Nandi and the citizen who lives in Nairobi City and the one who lives in Kilifi have the same right, and they can express their will and desire in anywhere they are in the country. That doesn't mean that you have to bring all Kenyans to Nairobi to demonstrate.
Junet, that is given. You want to eject commissioners in Nairobi.
Who told you first we want to eject commissioners?
But that is what you say.
No.
What do you want?
We are not mad people.
That is what you have said.
No. We are not mad people to go and eject people from offices. We are not mental cases. What we are doing, we are going to IEBC offices and show Kenyans of goodwill that these people should leave office.
Will they be peaceful? Will the demonstration
very peaceful, unless provoked.
The other time I saw you breaking the gate.
No, because the gate was closed. If they open, nobody will break it.
So you wanted to open.
Why should you close your door now?
So you want?
We will not break it. We are not that kind of people.
If you come there in hundreds of people, if you come to this. When I invited you to come for an interview, if you came with 100 people, you think they'll pass the gate?
No, if I was coming for demonstration, I'll come with 100 people. But if I was coming alone like this,
but you're coming for a petition. Give a petition.
Yeah.
Why do you need 100 people?
Because
to come inside to open the gate. Why?
You see, they could as well choose to meet us at Uhuru Park. IEBC could say, we want to receive your petition, but our meeting point is Uhuru Park. It is them who said, come to our offices.
They haven't
we initially told them,
they have not gone into
we wrote to them, we told them we want to meet you, no reply. The commissioners are out of town. We went and met again the following time. They said the commissioners have gone for burials. We went again the other time. No, the commissioners have traveled out of the country. My friend. And we have genuine issues to discuss with them. So the best way to handle this matter is not the grandstanding that Jubilee is doing. IEBC cannot be defended by Jubilee alone. That take it, I can tell you for free. Jubilee can defend DC, a chief or such things, but they cannot defend independent institutions like IEBC. It is not within their purview.
Has the president defended?
You see, so now...
Has the deputy president defended?
So much. I'm even shocked.
The president and deputy have defended the IEBC?
Very much.
You know,
every
Mutegi,
weekend in the Arabes, it's IEBC.
Mutegi, the president was sworn in under the new constitution and they swore to defend the constitution. Those of us in parliament did the same, including Junet. And we are saying that then if you have to address issues, let's follow the channels and the provisions of the constitution. That is not defending IEBC.
You see what's going to happen?
And you see now, just a minute, Junet. The next elections will be won on the basis of the votes that the various candidates will get. Whereas Junet and his team are busy, attempting to eject commissioners in Nairobi, attempting to eject junior staff, clerks in IEBC offices across the country. The Jubilee coalition, we are raiding their home turfs. We were in Kisii, we are going to Western, we will be in Lower Eastern, because we appreciate the fact that elections will be won on the basis of votes by Kenyans. So really, to see a coalition running around, IEBC offices, you have seen the kind of, challenges they seem to be having even within their own coalition. And tomorrow, the elections come and they start saying, oh, the elections were not, were not fair. Let me tell you, we must be honest as leaders. Let us work hard and ensure that we have the votes of the Kenyans. That is our approach as leaders.
I agree with him, totally.
Yeah.
You see, very soon you will see in 2018 this group demonstrating against us. When we form government and they feel that we have not done certain things the right way, you will be leading demonstrations. Now they are seeing it to be wrong. But when the shoe gets into the other leg, you will see them demonstrating. He's saying that they are, elections are won through numbers. Very true. I agree with him.
That's what you're calling
even as we are invading their territories. Last weekend we are in Meru. The kind of crowd that came out is unimaginable. The whole of Bomet, the whole of Kericho, almost to his hometown. We say now COD. So if he's not aware. They are still living in Ivory Tower. They think that people are still with them. People left them long way ago. People are not happy. And some of the demonstrations today might take place even in his own village. The displeasure is too high. Now, why can they come up with a mechanism? Us, we have already given an offer. My party leader wrote to them 2014 June, an official letter to the president, requesting for audience, requesting for dialogue. And the issue was about IEBC, security, and other national importance, matters of national importance. They have not replied to that letter.
The president responded and invited
No. The response we got from other junior officers within government.
It was the president himself.
No, we didn't get serious
From
response.
the president himself.
I can't remember.
That is on record.
Oh, sure. Now, it is high time now we engage in dialogue. It's high time we agree on how the elections is to be conducted.
Would you consider stopping the demonstrations in Rio for the discussion?
If we are given proper mechanism for dialogue, I will even stop it now. Here. If he says this is the way we will go, Jubilee is ready to engage, IEBC is ready to engage, this is the roadmap, we are going to sit and agree on issues and dissect, then we will just tell our supporters, wait, hold on. We will suspend it, we will not cancel it. We will say,
as a country, we have to be consistent. The COD coalition are raising issues with IEBC. You remember when they lost in the last elections, they started by blaming IEBC. They proceeded on to blame the Supreme Court. They went on to blame NSIS. They blamed even the military. They blamed the police. They blamed virtually
even special branch.
So at the end of the day, they want us to reconstitute IEBC outside the constitution.
How?
In a short, this ejecting and the discussions and what you are telling us that we need to have representation in IEBC of COD and Jubilee. That is again, that is not provided for within the constitution. After they are done with this, assuming they were to succeed in doing this, the next target would be the Supreme Court. They will start asking again for representation from CORD and Jubilee in the Supreme Court. After they are done with that, they will move to other institutions, including the police, that will be managing security issues within the electioneering period. So really, we have to be consistent as a country, because if we go in that direction on this IEBC thing, let us then, we must have a candid discussion and agree that that is the direction we want to run this country, and the element of independent institutions and independent commissions in this country, then we call it a day. And then we proceed on with a
answer to that.
Yeah, a very good answer to that. Mutegi, last election, when we were robbed of our victory, daylight, we didn't complain about the Supreme Court. We went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave a 5 minutes ruling and said that Jubilee is the duly elected people to run this country. We said we don't agree.
That also is not true. The 5 minutes ruling, because it was a big one.
No. Maybe that time you were busy here. First time when the ruling was made, it was 5 minutes. They said we'll do our ruling in 15 days. We will issue our comprehensive.
Which was done.
But the thing that sent us to swearing in ceremony was a 5 minute ruling. If you remember, the real judgment came 2 weeks later. By that time, swearing in was done.
That is how.
But you see, we had believed we had believed in the Supreme Court. That's why we went to the Supreme Court. Otherwise, we will have just kept quiet.
Because you disagreed with the decision of the Supreme Court now. You lost confidence.
You believe in the Supreme Court now?
Supreme Court is meant for Kenya, it's not meant for me to believe in it. Now, let me finish my statement.
Not you.
That time, we went to the Supreme Court. They did a ruling. We agreed with it. We did not agree with the ruling, but we respected the ruling. We said, let it go that way. And we kept quiet, and we went to perform our duties as opposition. Now there are pertinent issues that have come up. Surely it cannot be only in the domain of Jubilee to handle those issues, especially issues to do with elections. Other issues they can say is in their purview. Issues of running the country, issues of economy, issues of providing security. We can say that now they're the ruling government, that is in their purview.
What is the answer to the question that we need independent institutions as per the Constitution?
But we need independent constitutions that are doing their functions and performance as per the Constitution.
Exactly. And when you want to remove them?
Then they are not.
And when you want to remove them?
Yeah, but you see,
other systems?
What are the reasons why we want to remove them? Look at the failures that IEBC was involved in the last election. You want us to go to that kind of election again, even you?
But
where no gadget functions, no equipment functions, the results are transmitted manually. That's what you want us to accept.
You will remember.
And you must be preparing us for rigging.
Junet, you will remember that some of those challenges about failures of equipment were occasioned by the executive then. Because IEBC said, you have not been able to support us in good time. We were unable to acquire these equipments, the BVR and all the others, in good time. Allow us then, in our decisions, to proceed with the manual.
Now, 1 year
what did Raila say? That we must be able to have these biometric equipment. And you force equipments to IEBC at a time when they thought that they didn't have enough time to rehearse and train and do everything else. And then you start blaming IEBC.
Let me ask you
so something. We started assaulting the independence of IEBC then. But the kind of assault that is being launched by CORD right now is the worst assault that you can ever do to an independent institution. So really,
you see, in Mutegi, IEBC was created in 2010 by the new constitution. They had 2 years to prepare for an election, or even 3 years. 2011, 2012, the elections were done in 2013. 2 good years. Now we are barely less than 2 years. And up to today, they have not even prepared the equipment that they intend to use in 2017 elections. So what's the difference? And now they are in office for 5 years.
Let me ask you then.
You now have
what's the difference?
No. Let's be logical here. By removing them, you do make the situation better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are going to make it better.
How? First of all, when you vacate them and throw them out, how do you appoint new? What's the method of appointing new ones?
There are many ways. They will be appointed as per the law and the constitution.
Constitution?
And we must agree on the way forward as political stakeholders in this matter. Unless IEBC is going to conduct elections for Jubilee only. If they are going to conduct elections for Jubilee, we will not be party to it.
But let's take it. You are saying in accordance with the Constitution.
Let me ask you something.
So which Constitution?
You know, let me ask you something. The Constitution first does not talk about how our IEBC commissioner should be appointed. What the criteria of appointing them is in the Election Act. And that Election Act can be amended, can be discussed. How were people, electoral commissioners changed in 1997? How were they done? They were in the law, even the ones who were there. You see, let us reason like people who are seeing far. If you are reasoning just because you want to keep your love and you want to keep your turf, then you are going to plunge this country into chaos.
You know, unfortunately, the fact that
if an election, the IEBC is supposed to be a neutral body to conduct elections. In their own admission, they've accepted that they had failures in the last general election. Why can't you believe it with us?
Those people who have gone.
Who've gone?
Those people, we have a new executive.
Which executive? The executive that was put in place by the same IEBC that didn't, their equipment didn't work. This is what new executive.
Are you assuming that the equipment will not work even now?
Definitely, they will not work.
Why? But and the people you bring will be the one making
the people who will come will give us. You see, why do you want us to keep incompetency and people who are living in secrecy and people who are, you know, in denial? We want to have people who will tell us exactly what is going to happen. Number two, let me ask you something. IEBC is an independent institution. You know, you are embasying, you're asking the same questions.
No. I'm a journalist.
IEBC,
I am not in Jubilee.
IEBC is supposed to do independent, credible election. IEBC is supposed to be a neutral arbiter in conducting elections. Why is IEBC being portrayed and managed as an appendage to a Jubilee?
By who?
By Jubilee themselves, by not you.
But you see,
why?
Mutegi, the problem with our friends in the Code Coalition is that I think they are in a panic mood. They are already looking at the elections. They are already looking at their, you know, for us in Jubilee, we are already organized. We know who our presidential candidate is. We know what it is that we are going. We know the vehicle that we are using. We are prepared. For them, they still have a lot of challenges within themselves. Instead of focusing on some of those issues and preparing themselves for elections, they are busy chasing the referee. We in Jubilee are just saying a clear thing, Jeanette, that for us, if we must follow, and you know, we have had this discussion that you are taking us back to. We have had this discussion. That is how we got a new constitution. That is how we anchored independent institutions within the constitution. That is how we provided for mechanisms of appointing and sending them home.
He wants us to go to 1997.
Mutegi,
you want us to go to 1997?
It's a lie. It is misleading to tell Kenyans that we are not prepared. We are more than prepared for the elections.
Who is the presidential candidate?
That is matter. You know, you don't need to tell. You know, them they are saying President Uhuru is their candidate because he is the sitting president at the moment. So they know that he has to go for a second term. Us, we will deliver our candidate at the right time, at the opportune time when elections are coming. There is no election being conducted next month or 2 months. Even IEBC has not said bring your documents, presidential candidates. We will tell Kenyans at that time. Number two, we are not panicking. If you remember last election, but what gave Jubilee, after even the concocting the figures, 50 plus 1 was only 4,000 votes. Somebody who won by 4,000, by a margin of 4,000 votes to get 50 plus 1, you cannot panic, because you know a sitting government will lose more than opposition. We have gotten 100 times or 1,000 times more 4,000 voters that made them get 50 plus 1. We are not panicking. We are a very organized group. We are a very organized team. And very soon they will be shocked what we are going to unveil to Kenyans as court fraternity facing the election.
So tell us about today.
The IEBC is an integral part in delivering a credible elections for the sustainability of this country in peaceful manner. So let us engage. We're young people, Senator. You're very young like me. Let us engage and have a proper channel of having a credible election. Even if this is the commissioner that you people are interested in, let us sit down and see how we are going to get a fair, free and credible election. That's all.
But also let us appreciate that CORD supporters, that you cannot equate CORD supporters and to Kenyans. When you disagree with an institution, don't tell us that, you know, Kenyans have said this or that. You know, it is important. We Jubilee, we have Jubilee supporters. They are part and parcel.
So do we call court supporters Tanzanians? We call you people
they are Kenyans, but court supporters. Yeah. So say that you
court supporters of Kenyans.
And let us also let us also have you know, believe in our own institutions. Let us be, you know, let's follow the constitution. Let's follow the law. If we, and I can tell you, Jeanette, if we allow these discussions to move on, in a short while somebody says he has a problem with you as member of parliament for you know, Suna East, and all of a sudden we allow them to eject you out of your office and those kind of things. Let us be organized. I agree. In fact, the bigger discussion that we should be having for me is how do we ensure that this IEBC, you know, in this country we are likely to go into the elections. The constitution says if you don't have 50 plus 1%, then you go into a runoff. We need to synchronize and look at the, you know, the term of office of commissioners vis-a-vis the electoral cycle, you know, assuming that you then proceed to a runoff, assuming you are to go into a Supreme Court and there is a ruling. You know, those are some of the discussions that we need to, you know, that I think for me are critical.
How you are never ready for those discussions.
And that is within the purview of parliament, really. No. The extension, the term of, you know, the term of IEBC. Let us have those kind of discussions
being done to the parliament. Yeah. You're a member of parliament.
You see, sovereignty of the country belongs to the people, but it's delegated to the elected members of parliament. But those members are expected to exercise that authority in accordance with the wishes of the people, because it's a delegated authority.
Absolutely.
But when members decide to use that delegated authority in their own ways, like what the senator is trying to do here, and, you know, defend a body that is not doing the right things, body that is not functioning, body that is not, you know, operating within the law, then you're mutilating the constitution.
But he's assuming that the will of people of Suna East is the same will as that of the people of Nandi.
And why don't you respect the will? Why don't you respect the will of the people of Suna East? Because they want this IEBC,
but also appreciate the will of the people of Nandi who are saying let us follow the law. That is it.
But the people of Suna East are also
we are running out of time.
Let
us conclude about today. What is going to happen today?
Today, you know what's going to happen.
Tell us, according to a program of work.
No, we are going to...
We want Kenyans to know so that if we are living in Nairobi or Nakuru, whatever demonstration will take place, so that we are careful.
No, there's nothing to fear about. It's a normal demonstration. Nothing will happen. Your car is very safe and you can drive the way you want. We are going to have peaceful demonstration, peaceful picketing as enshrined in the Constitution. This new Constitution has given a lot of liberties, a lot of power.
And your objective is
people. Our objective is to go and express our displeasure and disdain with the commissioners of IEBC.
How will you do that? How will that be done?
How are demonstrations done? Why are people demonstrating outside Parliament every week? He's a member of Parliament. Every week we have demonstrations outside Parliament. People who are picketing and telling members of Parliament, we are against this law, we are against this kind of piece of legislation. You see? And after that, we will give our resolutions. And if those resolutions are not met, we will continue again next week on Monday to demonstrate and to exercise our sovereign power that is given by the Constitution.
Kind of laws you are going to cause in the business community in Nairobi.
My friend, the Constitution is a living document. When it was allowing demonstration and picketing, it knew there is business going on in the country.
Let me advise you and Kenyans. The characters going to anniversary towers today have a history of violence and chaos. If anybody intends to find his way to Nairobi, he should avoid the area around anniversary towers. We call upon the security apparatus in this country to try as much as possible to secure the property and the lives of Kenyans around the places that IEBC. I also want to call upon Junet. You have no commissioner in Kisumu. There is no commissioner in Eldoret IEBC offices. Can you restrict your engagement to where it matters? You can do whatever you want to do in Nairobi. But
let me ask only one question, and then I want him to answer me. Only one question. If IEBC is an independent institution, as he's trying to say, why did Jubilee MPs go to court to defend it? Only Jubilee members of Parliament, even if Kenyans went to court, will have agreed. Jubilee members of Parliament went to court to get orders from court to defend IEBC.
So you like about democracy? No. And they're entitled in the constitution to do that.
Yeah, but that tells you,
right, the same right you use
that tells you they are jointed at the hip.
IEBC, Mutegi,
they are jointed at the hip.
Anniversary Towers does not only house IEBC, it houses many other offices. The area around Anniversary Towers, many Kenyans were disadvantaged and they were inconvenient when the COD team and brigade caused chaos around IEBC. So as leaders who swore to protect this constitution, we are at liberty, or they are at the liberty to go to court. And you see, we didn't go to any other institution. We went to an independent institution called the judiciary, and that is where, if you have an issue, that is where to take your issue.
As in the court anyway stopped that demonstration today.
No, they are allowed last Thursday.
They are allowed.
Yeah, they said go ahead because it's a constitutional right. The court knows. It's only Jubilee that needs some refresher course on the constitution. The court knows that you cannot stop a legal, constitutionally mandated demonstrations like what we are going to do today.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We are running out of time, and we hope that that demonstration that is going to take place in Nairobi and elsewhere will be peaceful. That we don't disorganize our economy, we don't kill our people, we don't maim them, we don't destroy our vehicles. Thank you very much.
That is a